let's get back to where we were. Yeah, man. You know that was dope right there. That counter, and then taking the angle. That was
Yep.
really good. You know, stuff like that is going to be really good against people that are Muay Thai fighters because they're very stationary,
Yeah.
picking their leg up, standing still. And but
Very
what sucks is that you can't set up your kicks though behind your jabs, like because you don't
Yeah.
have a damn jab hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like a major disadvantage, man.
Yeah. While I was fighting, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just go back to orthodox, just so I can use the jab. I was like,
That's
you
what
know
I'm
what?
saying. That's what I was thinking. Like if I have to choose one, I'm gonna go with orthodox. I'm gonna go with whichever side I have my jab on because without
Yeah.
my
Of
jab,
course.
all I have is power shots, and that's just too easy to see.
Yeah.
You're gonna load up. You're gonna be telegraphing. I'd rather
Yeah.
have my jab any day, man. Did you wind up
100%.
ever going orthodox or?
You know, I might have went a few times throughout like all these rounds, but rarely. I mean, I was just doing all power shots and kicks and kind of
Yeah.
using my kicks as like kind of my measuring stick.
What was your mindset going into these sparring rounds? By the way, like, was there anything in particular that you were working on, or you just?
Yeah. I was mainly just working on my defense to the like the leg kicks and just more or less saying, working different pockets and openings with my power hand, So
Okay.
yeah.
So you're trying to work on the defense for leg kicks was like one of your main things you were focused on.
Yeah, that was like the primary thing that I was working on was just seeing how I could do that. How could I return fire as well with a leg kick of my own or just, kick in general and just working on like that shot selection too.
And do you usually like is kicking like a big part of your game you feel like, or you feel like you're more
No,
boxing based?
not at all. Not at all. And in combat sambo, like I mean, you'll see people throw kicks, but like in combat sambo, if you get taken down, that could be the end of the match right there. So like, kicks are used sparingly, but that's why I wanted to kind of dive into a little bit more to kind of, increase, improve my IQ in that area.
Work
So
on that, yeah.
exactly.
Nice. Yo, your boxing is just way better.
Yeah, I felt pretty comfortable going into with the boxing. So yeah.
One hand, he just uppercutting, crossing, boom, body shot.
One sec,
Nice
one sec.
answering back with the kick too.
I gotta step away one for like 1 sec. Just give me a minute. Be right back.
Yeah, I mean, with people like that though, you do want to be a little careful with
Yeah.
like how you dip your head and stuff like that, because he is just spam. He's like people like this are like kick spammers, and I think over here, see that right there? Like you throw that cross right here, and then you kind of slip into the punch. I mean, slip into the kick. That could be dangerous. So like sometimes we just got to be careful with how much we're moving our heads and slipping and cutting angles when they're heavy on those kicks. Because even if he just skins you over the top of your head,
Yep,
like
that's all
hopefully
it
not,
takes.
you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah,
got to be
exactly.
careful with people like this.
Yeah, Crow Cop was known for that, man. He would just hit the top of the head and then,
Boom.
just knock people out that way. Yeah.
Angles are good. I would still keep using those angles,
Okay.
but just like that. You see how like you just cut that angle right there? That was really good. You cut the angle, but your head wasn't really in danger because it was more like footwork that you used to get to the outside as opposed to your dipping your head, which would
Yeah,
be good if you were going against somebody who was more boxing based. So we just gotta know who we're using what against.
exactly. That's where that IQ comes in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Boom, pull. Nice. See right there again.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we got to be careful. Boom. Now, if that was serious, that could be at the end of the fight right there,
It could
right?
be. Yeah, it
So
definitely could.
yeah, let's make sure that when we're going against heavy kickers, like I always hear people say like, "Oh, you can't bob and weave like that in MMA. You can't do that. You're gonna get kicked in the head." Like that's nonsense. You can bob and weave in any combat sport. You can bob and weave. It's all about who you're fighting. Not
Right.
everybody is Mister Spam. 10,000 kicks around. But when
Exactly.
you are going against that kind of person, okay, this is the kind of person where I'm upright, I'm moving my feet for my defense, and I'm not doing too much head movement, slipping down to the side. I can pull, I can smother, move left and right, but I'm not going to be dipping my head down against this particular person because it is dangerous when I'm going against him. But if I'm going
Definitely.
against a boxer or a heavy puncher, I'm bobbing and weaving, I'm doing whatever I want to do. It's just
Right.
styles make matches, and it's all about who you're fighting and situational.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot more with a boxer with the bopping and weaving, right?
But sometimes that's why it's cool sometimes, like when you go against multiple different people back to back, because you get to see different styles. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta analyze this guy real quick. What kind of style is he? Does he kick a lot? Does he box a lot? And you gotta kind of make that those snap decisions pretty fast when it's the first
Yep.
time. So that's why what I like to do is when I'm sparring in like an open group setting where it's a bunch of people sparring, I try to do
Right.
two two per person.
Okay.
2 rounds per person, so that way at least I get 1 round to kind of see what's going on, and I got my other rounds to kind of make the adjustments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Once you kind of get a feel, the second one to capitalize on, on
Yeah.
his style. Yeah.
The only hard thing sometimes is that sometimes, like, if your natural habit is to bob and weave and duck your head, if things were to get hectic, you're probably gonna go back to that too, you know?
Right. Yeah, yeah. Back to like the habits,
Yeah,
right?
muscle memory. So it's
Yep.
really important that like we have to go in there and try to be aware and fight cerebrally, fight with our minds more than letting your instinct come out. Because if your instincts come out, it could put you in danger again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because you look
exactly.
like the type of person like me. We like to move our heads and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. From boxing,
So
right? So,
yeah, it's like a boxing base. So when we going to get somebody like this, try not to let your body take over. You stay in the
right.
driver's seat.
Exactly. Yeah. Easier said than done, but yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be worked. Yeah, so here I went with the dogs just briefly, but
Let's see with these kicks. You ever like to grab kicks or not?
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Were you
I
just
mean,
not working that here?
yeah, I'm just not working it at all because I mean every single kick that was landed above the thigh, I was just like I could just catch any of these and take
Oh,
down.
here again. That's like the third time, but that was a good sweep that you got off of it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, same lesson from before. We just got to make sure that we're not moving our head as much against kickers like this.
exactly. Yeah, if that was Super Bond, don't think I'd be sweeping it afterwards.
But that's why it's really important though. Like that's why it's so important to do film study. You know, like when you have a
Yeah,
fight, you probably can't do much film study as an amateur. I'm not sure how much of that is there in sambo, but as a
yeah,
pro, it's really important to do film study because you want to see what's his overall what's his striking style. You can kind of tailor how you're gonna fight him based on that, and then you could even see how he reacts to the things that you might do. Right? Find somebody
right.
who's closest to you that he fought already.
Yeah, exactly,
See how
exactly. Yeah,
he
and
responds to
Sambo,
that. See how he reacts to things.
yeah, and Sambo, it's tough because like you really don't know who you're fighting until the day of the weigh-ins, and then you have in the same day you'll fight four, 3 or 4 guys easily. You
Do
just
you
don't know
know
who
at
you're
least like who's gonna be in the tournament, or
you don't not
you have
until
no idea who's gonna show up?
nope, no idea. I mean, at the World Championship, everybody kind of knows who's probably going to show up, but there's no like, set in stone, bracket where you can see like in smooth comp where you can look at the, who's signed up. Yeah,
Damn.
there's none of that in Sambo.
Well, can do you know when you get there at least?
Yes, yeah. Whenever you get there, I mean, all the fighters, in all the different countries, they all usually stay in the same hotel. So as you're walking
Okay.
around, you kind of, see what countries are there and who's probably going to be, at the
So you have
weigh-ins.
the information once you get there. How much time do you have from when you find out to when you fight?
I like to get, especially at the World Championship and like international fights, I'll get there at least a week early. So like throughout the whole week, I'll be like kind of walking around, but usually a day, 2 days.
So you gotta pretty much make quick adjustments based
Quick
on.
adjustments.
But you
Yeah.
might be fighting multiple people too.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
Damn. So
yeah,
you pretty much can basically write some notes. Okay, this guy likes to do this. That's like to do this. Let me
yeah,
make sure I'm watching out for this.
that's it.
That's about as much as you can do.
Right.
Damn, that's
Exactly.
tough, man. That's gangster right there, though.
Yeah.
That's it. You just got to show up, and however you fight, you got to make adjustments. That's why it's so important to have so many tools in your bag and be able to be a smart fighter. Because if you can't make adjustments, if all you have is like this one thing that you're good at, I mean, now keep in mind, there's a lot of fighters who have been able to dominate only having like one specific skill, right? You got like Mike
Right.
Tyson. He had one style, he just stuck to it and got really far. Khabib, one style, stuck to it, got really far. But when you look at the best fighters, I mean, Khabib's one of
Oh
that.
yeah.
But
Of
Floyd
course.
Mayweather, you look at even Ilya Taporia, these guys are like making adjustments in the ring and
Right.
capitalizing on things that are happening in the ring. If you can do that, man, that's why it's so important to learn as much as you can, study as much as you can, and treat this like school, just like anything else. And I know you already do that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I know how you
100%.
are.
I'm always
But like
studying this stuff. Yeah.
people underestimate that. People think that fighting is just about like working skills and techniques. No, you need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be
Yeah.
a master and know what the hell, why someone jabs, why someone moves their head, why someone. You need to know everything about this sport and how fighters fight and what makes people tick, so that you can make quick decisions in that ring. That's why
Exactly.
it's even beneficial to like, dude, just imagine you could just go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, make me a style fighter and quiz me on if I'm fighting this person the right way. And it's
Right.
gonna be like, hey, here's a heavy kicker, a pressure fighter who's a heavy kicker.
That's a
Here's a
smart.
boxer who moves his feet, and you got to tell him, this is what I like to do. This is what I have to do. This is what I have to do.
Definitely.
You see what I'm
Definitely. And
saying?
yeah,
You
of
need to
course.
know it up here. If you don't know it up here, all you
Yeah.
fighting is based off. reaction.
Exactly. And even then, like in the, let's say you're in a fight and obviously with a tournament style where you don't know who you're fighting up against until the day before, like, you don't have the chat GPT, you don't have the privilege and to be able to do that. So you just got to be able to see what they're doing, after the first 30 seconds, first minute, and then just work with what you got and roll with
You
it.
gotta, yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta. So it have to be in there. You got to be a smart dude already. Like,
It's a thinking man's game for sure.
that's cool.